Hello, my name is Jill Olivia and welcome to my channel, Mom in Real Life. Today I want to talk about some of my breastfeeding essentials. These were things that I found really useful, especially during the first 3 months of my baby's life. So yeah, let's get into that. Alright, first things first. Just like with my first time around, I experienced a lot of nipple pain. I ended up with cracked nipples. Just like my first baby, my second one had issues with latching on, which is pretty common. It's a new thing for you, it's a new thing for baby. You're both learning. So I ended up with cracked nipples. Now there's a lot of different brands that offer this piece of hair. There's a lot of different brands that offer like nipple creams. I did use a couple. I think the first one I ever used was like Mother's Nature or something like that. I'll insert an image somewhere. I mostly liked how it smelled. I can't say it was super amazing for me. The next one I tried was the Lacino, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's usually their brand was like purple. That one I actually liked. I still don't see it was like a huge thing. Honestly, I just use my trusty dusty Vaseline or petroleum jelly, whichever you want. It literally does the same thing, just added that little protective barrier. Another thing that I found useful. Alright, so thing that I found useful are these breast shields. Now I don't recall what the brand is. I'd have to look and I'll link those down below. But this little piece, there's a little hole where your nipple would go into, and there's a little vent at the top. So let's see if you can see that. Yes, my camera's not really showing it too well, but it's a little vent at the top so you can keep getting air like on your nipple and not smashed up against fabric, which will help with the healing. And the bonus is that it also catches your letdown. So I'd wear these to kind of give my nipples a break from being rubbed against by the fabric, but I also use this on the breast that I wasn't feeding on to catch the excess letdown and kind of just help me boost up my milk storage. And these are very easy. They take apart just like that, slip right on. It doesn't hold a whole ton of milk, so if you have a lot of letdown, I don't recommend this. I think I would hold maybe 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces in just this. Anything beyond that, I would actually recommend having like a Haakaa, or this one's not an actual Haakaa. This is Nature Bond, if you can see, which it works just like a Haakaa. Suction, pop it right on the boob, boom. This is the one that you'll see in my thumbnail. I use this a lot during my night feeds because otherwise I'm just wasting milk into my bra or breast pad. And yeah, and it also kind of helps just boosting your supply if you get a little extra stimulation, because my baby typically only feeds on one side at a time. So yeah, that's another great product to help boost your supply as well as increase your storage. I think during the 2nd month of his life, I didn't really use my pump at all unless I was away from him. I pretty much just stuck this on at night for each feed at night, because he'd wake up at least 2 to 4 times. Gosh, he woke up a lot. Wakes up still. He'd get up at least 2 to 4 times to feed, so I just pop this on. And I keep one of my Medela bottles on my nightstand. Once it's got full to a certain point, just dump it in there and stick it back on. And that's pretty much my night routine. So these two products great for catching letdown, great for giving your nipple a break from your fabric. Now the next thing I want to show are the breast pads. So I use 2 different ones. These are awesome because they're reusable, so it makes me feel a little less guilty about the environment because I'm not buying something and just tossing it. Instead, I can buy these, use them, wash them out at the end of the day, and wear them the next day. So I have at least 10 pair of them because I typically, when breastfeeding, if I'm not using the shield at all or pumping on the other side, I'll probably change this at least twice during the day. But like if I'm at work and I'm just exclusively pumping for most of the day, then I'll just change it one time because I'm not really giving myself an opportunity to sit with a whole bunch of letdown. Because I usually don't have letdown until like one side stimulated. So these are awesome. I'll link these ones down below. There's a bunch of different ones. I think it was like some type of bamboo fibers or something it's supposedly made out of, but they're pretty awesome. I was a little skeptical about them at first because they're cloth, but they actually hold pretty good. Just make sure you change them in time so they don't soak through because it is cloth. Now these are just the generic CVS nursing pads. I would usually get the Lacino ones. I think I have one left over that I just stuck in the box because I ran out. But I mean, they work pretty much the same. They're just a bra pad. They have a little sticker on the inside so you can actually adhere them to the inside of your bra. I personally don't do that only because the pump I use is like a wearable pump that sits in your bra, and having this in there while I'm pumping, I discover can potentially cause a mess because the pump I use, and I talk about that in another video. I can link that down below. The pump I usually use is the Momcozy, which is a portable wearable pump, completely hands-free, no tubes, sits right in your bra. It's comparable to like the Elvie and Willow, but like for a fraction of the cost, so keep that in mind. But if you're interested in that, I'll link that down below, or I'll insert that somewhere in this video. But yeah, so these ones are disposable, whatever. So I'll usually use these when I'm out and about in a place that I don't really want to have to hang on to like my soggy nursing pad. So I actually prefer these to go to work sometimes. So I'll have my one pad, well, I have 2 of them, but I'll have these on at the start of the day, and when I have to change it in the middle of the day, I'll usually switch to this way I can just chuck it at the end of the night and not have to worry about a whole bunch of dragging around a whole bunch of soiled pads all day. So far those are some of my must-have products specifically for me. Now the next product that I found super useful this time around, because you know they say every baby's different, very much so. So for my son, let me zoom out a little bit. I found, this is not the actual boppy pillow, but it's like a boppy pillow, which will be linked down below. I found this to be super helpful with feeding him. I'll insert a picture. Just sit yourself in the U. You sit baby on here to feed. Let's see if I got my little llama, my llama baby down here to feed, so they're like right at breast level, and this way you're kind of relaxed and you're not like trying to hunch your arm up so much to support your baby. I usually use this around the house. So my boppy pillow definitely saved my life with the nighttime feeds, because I'm dead tired, and I know that if I lay the baby down in the bed with me and do like the side lie feed, I would fall asleep and I wouldn't put him back in his crib or so I thought, but I didn't even have that issue because he had such a hard time latching that I literally, the only way to latch him was for me to like sit upright, hold my boob, and then put him on. And I had to do that for a long time, for at least the first month and a half. So this was a lifesaver because then I could relax my arm on the pillow. But now we're better and I'm actually able to just like lay down and feed him. And I'm pretty good about putting him back in his crib for the most part. It's usually the last feed of the night, I'll admit. We might wake up with him in the bed with us in the morning. But I have his crib like flush against mine, so literally if he were to roll, he'd just roll back in his own bed. So he co-sleeps. Anywho, yeah, I think those are the major things that I pretty much use for like actual breastfeeding. Oh, the last thing, I almost forgot, because I can't find it right now. I kind of think I left it at my mom's house, which sucks, but it's what it is. Now I know a lot of people are like pro public breastfeeding, and I'm for it. I don't care. If my baby's hungry, I will feed him no matter what. However, I know my comfort level, and I typically like to have a cover on me. And I've tried a few covers out, and the only one I've ever liked, I'll insert a picture somewhere in here, or I'll just link it down below. Gosh, I don't remember the brand, but I got it off of Amazon. And the way it's set up, there's like a hook that goes, not a hook, a strap that goes around your neck. And then there's a wire like bow part, so you can look down at your baby. His face is not completely covered. That way you can kind of see what you're doing too, because I have a little squirming nosy thing. He likes to be able to see something, so that definitely helps with him. If he can at least look at me, and it's like, okay, I got something to look at. And it is awesome. Now, the downside about it is the fabric's a little thick, so in the summertime I wouldn't recommend it if you're going to be like outside in a hot spot. Those moments, you know, it is what it is. If he's hungry, I'm just gonna have to feed him right there uncovered, because I'm not gonna suffocate him just because I want to cover myself up. But I like using it like when I'm indoors. It's a little cool anyway. It's great. Gosh, I wish I could find it to show you guys, but yeah, so those are pretty much my breastfeeding essential, the tools that helped me out a lot with my journey of breastfeeding. The second time around, the last thing, nursing bras. I don't have a bra that like love super much. I just bought like the basic ones on Amazon. I'll link those down below too. You know, they have the little hook. You just undo, you can feed baby, or depending on what type of pump you have, you can put your pump on there. I do have one nursing bra. I'll insert a picture of it somewhere on here, where it's a bra that you can hook it to nurse, but it also has a little slot that allows you to insert if you have like a flange pump, which I do have and I used to use a lot. But like I said, I have the one you just stick in the bra, so that's not a feature that means too much to me now. But if that's something that you guys are interested in, I'll include the one that I used that I liked a lot when I was using like my Medela pump or my Baby Bella pump, which I also have a video about. I'll link that below so you can go and check that out. Well, I hope you guys found this video useful or at least helpful, give you some ideas of how you can help support your breastfeeding journey. Breastfeeding is not easy, but these are some of the tools that I found to just help make it just a little bit easier. I think one of the biggest things outside of all these other tools was honestly for me having the family support. Like my fiance has been on board with my decision to breastfeed day one. My mom has been a big cheerleader on my side and supporting me in my breastfeeding journey. You always get those people who ask those questions like, how long are you gonna breastfeed for? Or you're still breastfeeding? Or you don't want to put cereal in his butt. It's all those unnecessary comments. So I think one of the biggest things, just having a really good support system. Go ahead and get a lactation consultant as well. That's something I utilize both times around, because like I said, both of my kids had issues with latching. I didn't know how to correct the latch. Definitely, I think most insurance, don't come for me if I'm wrong, but most insurances tend to cover, I want to say, up to like 6 or so visits of lactation consultants for like so much the first year of the baby's life or something. You shouldn't be charged for those, but check with your insurance and make sure. Don't just take my word for it. But I know for us that was the case, and I definitely was in that office quite frequently until I felt confident in my abilities to feed my baby, and I was able to see that my baby was growing consistently. So yeah, that's some of my tips, the things that I use to help make my breastfeeding easier. Like I said, if you found this information useful, give me a like, give me a comment, let me know if there's any things that you guys have found useful that I haven't mentioned. Insert those down below as well. It definitely helps somebody else out. So thanks for watching. I hope you stick around. Make sure to subscribe if you want to get some more content about all things related to being a mother in real life. Thanks, guys.